Okay, away we go. And this is the test from June of 2021. And here we go with the first question. Three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 110 and 40 make 150, which makes this 30. And then these two angles must be supplementary. So the answer is 180 minus 30, 150E. That is a frequent flyer. Number two is solve the equation. So you would move the 10 over as a negative 10, or subtract 10 from both sides, and then you would times both sides by the reciprocal 2 over 1 and get negative 8, answer G. A lot of people love the equation solver, so if you're one of those people, you can go math last, solver, and it's already entered for you. I must have done this the other day and gotten the answer that way. The answer would be alpha solve, and therefore negative 8 when you hit alpha solve would get it for you. Okay, number three is a classic LCM. It's a least common multiple of the three denominators, so it's a program. I hit alpha L, gets me to LCM quicker, and then I hit 15, 20, and 8. Again, only entering the denominators. The numerators do not figure, and the answer is 120 for those. So that's a real cool program usage, and the answer is B. Okay, moving right along, this would go straight into the calculator. The absolute value of 2 minus the absolute value of negative 5 would give me 2 minus 5, negative 3. And let's look at it on the calculator. We would go math, number, abs. Part of our instruction on the calculator, 5 minus 3 minus another math number, abs, 1 minus 6. And there's the answer, negative 3G. How we doing so far? Second page. This one's tricky. The parallel is AB is parallel to DC. So the transversal is right here. If you extend that whole picture, you would know that the alternate interior right here is 85, and we are supplementary, so it would be 180 minus the given 85, which is 95B. They love this hourly rate, so you make $12 an hour for 40 hours, but each hour after that, you go overtime. So you make 40 times 1.5. Now, how many hours overtime do you work is 16. So you would times these up and add them up. The regular pay would be 40 times 12. That's 480. And then 40 times 1.5 for 16 hours of overtime. So you'd add that to 480, and that would be your pay, which is 1440. What did I mess up? I did $16 an hour, sorry. So it'd be 40 times 1.5 times 12 that you're adding. So it's 480 plus 720. Sorry about that. Anybody can make the mistake. It should be so it's 40 times 12 plus 16 hours at 12 times 1.5. Should be 768, answer H. Okay. This one is basically, she gave her third grade students 6 new words and then 3 more for 20 more days. So it's the 21st day, so it'd be 20 times 3 is 60, plus the 6 on the first day, 66. 8 factorial is 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 4 factorial is that squared. So you would get rid of these and then have this. So you could do it all like that. 4 into 8 is 2. 3 into 6 is 2. 2 into 2 is 1. And there goes your answer. 7 times 2 times 5 by canceling. And you would get 70 for the correct answer. Okay. A lot of people don't know that this is here, but alpha y equals, you could write it as a fraction, 8 factorial. Factorial is math probability, and then you hit the factorial button, over in parentheses 4 factorial squared. And that should give you 70 for the answer. Oh, Chief Sokotoa. Love it. Chief Sokotoa says sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So we go to B. Where is the opposite? It's away from. So the ratio is B, whose the hypotenuse is C. Answer D, B over C. We're adding like terms here, so it's 6a cubed minus 5ac squared plus 12c, and then you're going to minus 4c, because you're going to change the sign. You're going to add 3a cubed, and then you're going to add 2ac squared. The minus here changes all those signs. So the answer should be 9a cubed minus 3ac squared plus 8c, choice 8. The name when you're adding does not change. 11 is a classic simul. See it from our class? We're given 2 equations with 2 variables. Everyone loves the simultaneous program. You need only hit the coefficients 1, 2, and 2. -1, 1, and 7. That should give you the X and Y answer. -4, 3. Very cool program. Tim's flight is going to be delayed 563 minutes. So how many hours is that? 563 divided by 60 should give you a 9 hours. Now what I like to do is take the 9 and times it back by 60 to see how many minutes there are, since it's 563 minus 540. So the delay is 9 hours and 23 minutes. So let's add 9 hours to 451. So that would switch it over. When you added 9 hours, that will switch it over to 1 o'clock or 13 o'clock. But look what else you got to do. You got to add 23, so that's 74. So when you add it, that goes over 60 by 14 minutes. So you would add 1, and there's the time. It's 14:14. Well, 14 is 2 hours past. You could have also counted that, no problem. Circle equation is next. The circle center is always, when they don't have a number, is 0, 0. And the radius there is the square root of 144, which is 12. So there has to be 12 in the answer, because it's centered at 0, 0, and it's going to go 12 to the left, right, and these are all 12. Perfect use of trin-fac. You have a trinomial, which is x squared minus 5x minus 36. So you give it a 1, a minus 5, and a minus 36. Voila. The fact is x plus 4 times x minus 9. X minus 9 is the right factor and the right answer. Vector sums has been coming up a lot. If you look at this first vector, think about it in terms of its movement. It's 1 to the right and 4 up. And the second vector is 3 to the right and 2 up. So when you add them, what do you get? You get 1 plus 3 is 4 and 6. So you're looking for something that goes 4 to the right and 6 up, and the only one close to that is E. They love 16. It's been a staple of my course for years. It says the width, the length of the rectangle is 196, and the width is 4, and the square is unknown, So x times x is x squared, has to be the same thing as 4 times, oops, I better get off this program, 4 times 196 is x squared. So you simply take the square root of that number, because x squared, 28 times 28 would give it to you. You could also guess and check. Clearly 28 times 28 is going to give you the same area as that. They love that question. These always make me think more than I want to. So t-shirts are $D each. So she purchases Q t-shirts, and she pays N dollars to purchase it. So N, how much she has to purchase, is the value of the shirts. They're D each, and she bought Q of them, so it's QD, and she got some change back, or she had some change left, R, So if you take Q times D plus R, you get the whole sum. Easier said than done. Another way might be to think of having, make up a number like I have $100 and t-shirts are 15 each. So if I bought 6 of them, 15 times 6 would give me how much money I would have left would be 10 to equal. So you can kind of talk your way into the solution too. This one's crazy. The totals should add up. So if there are 12 meats whites. There are 16 wheats. Moving across here, if there were 28 total meats, there must be 22 vegetarian. So 12 plus what will give you 20, and 8 plus what gives you 22. So how many customers ordered a veggie, that's this one, on wheat? And the answer is 14. Been liking these sample ones a lot more. I tagged and released 90 deer and collected 30, 5 of which were tagged. Uh, the let P be the proportion of deer that are tagged. So 5 of the 30 are tagged, right? So it would be 1 out of 6 tagged for that. Square root of 2, you could never use simp-rad for this, but you could do 18. 8 is 2 root 2, and 18 is 3 root 2. Add them up, and you get 6 of the same 6 root 2. Another way, a cheater way, would be to take the radicals and add them. And get the answer 8.48 and then match it up. You would quickly see that 6 root 2 is the right answer. So that would be a great cheater way to do the whole thing on the calculator and not have to think about math. Careful here, when you divide by a negative, like here, I would subtract the 3 and add x. So this is gone, and I get negative 1x is greater than 4. When I divide by negative 1, I always circle this because I have to switch the arrow, and x is less than negative 4. Can it be determined A is positive and B is negative? So if A is positive, negative A is negative, huh? And B squared is always positive no matter what. So the quadrant is left up. It's got to be in quadrant 2. If you double, after you reach 10, you double every 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes, it will be 20. In 40 minutes, it will be 40. In 60 minutes, that's an hour, it's 80. And we want to go 2 hours. So let's do it 3 more times. 160, 320, 640. Doubling it 6 times. You can do that on the calculator. They love probability and. So Tuesday and in January. So the chance of you picking Tuesday is 1 out of 7. And the chance of it being January is 1 out of 12. Both of them, you times it. So it's 1 over 7 times 1 over 12. It won't be the first or last time that you see that problem, math frac, or you could have done the whole thing in alpha y equals and get 1 out of 84. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Averages total. So 3 men averaged 160. But the 4 of them measure 150, So where does Harry come in? Well, Harry was in the second group, not the first. So you subtract 600 minus 480 and you get 120. Straight calculator, homie. All you got to do is log 636. It's under math log base. 636. And you can either get that answer or times it or just put it next to, it'll work. Log, what is that, 39? And the answer is, of course, 2 times 2, 4. Greatest and least sum in the group. Well, when you roll 2 dice, you can get just about anything. But the lowest you can get is 1 and 1 is 2. And the highest you can get is 6 and 6, 12. So what's the difference between the greatest roll and the less roll is 10. Rare use of my degree to radian program. If you haven't done trig, it's actually called radian to degree, rad degree. And what you got a degree, so you hit 2, it's a loop program. You hit 30 degrees, and it gives you the equivalent of pi over 6. Isn't that cool? Rad degree program, which is a goodie. For 1 week, she calculated so she could investigate the difference between the high and low each day. What was the mean of the differences for the 5 days? So subtract. Monday was 29. Tuesday was 37. 29 was Wednesday. 37 and 38. Add them up and divide by 5. I'm going to do this one on my handheld calculator. The average of the difference in the 5 days was 34. So you just add up the differences and divide by 5. What is left for unbudgeted? So all you're going to do is take these and add them up on a calculator. 3/8. I don't make it a fraction. I find it easier to just go 3/8 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/12 plus 1 over 16. You could hit enter if you wanted. Plus 1 over 24. Answer, math frac. So you have budgeted 15/16. So who's unbudgeted? 1/16. Or if you prefer, 1 minus the answer that you got is 1/16. Oh, an oldie but a goodie. What is the 322nd digit? Well, since every 4 repeat, I'm going to divide 3 to see how many times it goes. And of course, it goes 80 with a remainder of 2. And the remainder is the answer. So it's the second digit, which is 3. It's whatever the remainder is. The remainder is always the answer. So let's just say it was the 175th digit. I would divide by 4 and get 43 with a remainder of 3, or 3/4, so it would be the third digit. What's this? You and a friend, at the rate of 4 ounces per second, while you are still pouring, your friend starts pouring water from her can at 2 ounces per second. So how long after it first started will contain 24 ounces of water? I'm just going to count that out. So first second, I poured at 4. Second, I poured 4, so that's 8. Third second, I poured 4, so that's 12. Now comes in this one, so it's going to be 4 and 2, so 18. And on the fifth second, we're going to get another 4 plus 2, so 6, 12, 18, 22, 12, and 18, 24 after 5 seconds. So it'd be 5 seconds after it started. Okay? So one of 6 colors, 1/3 are brown, and the others are an even distribution. So the other 5 colors, so 1/3 are brown. So that means what? 2/3 are of the other colors divided evenly 5 ways. So the answer is 2/3 divided by 5, Matha Fracca. So that's 2/3 divided by 5. I do that to avoid division by the fraction. I would have to use the alpha y equals for that, and I just try to avoid that. So it'd be 2/3 divided by 5. Give it to me, 2/15. So the rest are 2/15 of the package. This is graphing. Have you had a good graph introduction? So x squared looks like this. The minus means it's going to be upside down. And we're going to move 3 to the right. That's minus inside the function, and 4 up. So there's your graph sketch of that parabola. So the range is the height, or the y. It goes from -infinity all the way to 4. Those that know their shift rules know it right away, know that it's going to go up 4, and thusly apply. You could also have done that. That was easy enough to graph on a graphing calculator. You could have gone like this and quickly at least spotted a look. Let me get to Zoom Standard. I've been in all kinds of other crazy stuff. It should give you the graph like that. Range is the up and down. We go from -infinity all the way to here, and I think you can body count that and plug it in and say 4. Scale drawing. The classroom is that, and he made the shorter side, so this is ratio proportion. So 7.5 is the shorter is to 9, as 9 is to x. So the shorter one and the longer one, you keep them together, cross multiply, divide. It should be 81 over 7.5. And that gives you the answer, 10.8 for the length. For the area of this, I cut it into triangles. AC is 5 and BD is 6. They bisect each other, so it would be 3 and 2.5 for the altitude and base. I then run area of triangle. What were those numbers? 3 and 2.5. I get an area of 15 over 4. And don't I have 4 of those triangles? So it's 15. One number, X, is 25% of a second number, and the second number is 70% of the third number. So the first number is what percent of the third. We got to get y substituted here as that above. So above would say x equals 0.25 y, and that's 0.70 z. So the answer is very simply, I thought this when I first saw it, but I wasn't sure, so I talked my way through it. It's 25% of 70%, which is 0.175, or 17.5. I'm going to do area of 2 of my favorite things. The rectangle first, 30 by 60, is going to hang 1,800. And then I'm going to do a trapezoid, turn sideways. 33 is one of the bases, and the other base is 33 down here, plus 27 plus 18. So the other base is going to be, I think that's 78. So area of a trapezoid. The bases were 33 and 78. Boy, I'm glad I got this program. And the height was 36. And I'm going to add that to the 1,800, which I did in my head. Sorry, 37.98. And I almost missed it. It's $2 a square foot. So times the area by 2, and it should give you an answer, 75.96. Uh-oh, what happened? Did I do something wrong? 30 by 60. Am I going too far? 33 here. Maybe I went too far with the 33. Let's see. This is 30. Huh? Why am I adding 33? It should be 30. So when I go back and do the trapezoid, it's 75, not, I think I was doing 78. Rough day today. Anybody can do it. It just goes to show you. 75, 33, and 36. Added to 1,800. And times 2. So 74.88. There we go. Sorry about that. How does this work? 30% of the final exam will come from their homework, and the 70% will be the test. And the final exam is 20% of the test. So it's 20% of the 70%. So that's all it is. The exam is 20% of the 70. So that's going to be 14% when you times them. A rectangle with an area of 30 has a length and width that are both integers. So what cannot be the perimeter of the rectangle? So this is a little peculiar. So it would be the area is 30, so x, and this would be 30 over x, because when I times them, that would be a area of 30, and the perimeter, I guess, you'd have to add them, huh? So it'd be 2x plus 60 over x would be a perimeter. So both integers. So let's start with x is 1. If x was 1, this would be 2 plus 60, 2 plus 60 would be 62, so that's good. If x was 2, it would be 4 plus 30, 34, so that's good. If x was 3, it would be 6 plus 20, that's good. And if x was 4, it would be 8 plus 15. I think it'd have to be one more 5, would be 10 plus 12. So the one we skipped, it can't be, is J. Tricky question there. You could have also plugged and chugged different intervals. So 6 and 5 is the one I thought of. 6 times 5 would give you 11, 22 for the perimeter, so that's no good. And then kept trying. 3 and 10 would give you 30, and that would give you 26, and so forth. That might have been a better way than this crazy algebra way I did. What is the positive difference of the two list prices? So don't you just subtract these two right here, and it would be 210,000 minus 189.9. That would be 2.01 times 10 to the fourth. You could actually turn it into scientific, but I do not like doing that because I would get out immediately. I would switch it back, but scientific would give us the answer of 2.01 times 10 to the fourth. Price per square foot, well, we have it here as 92. For the other one, you got to divide 1,899,900 by the number of feet, which is 1726. And that gives you about 110 per square feet. So that's about $18 more, huh? So X Y is $18 more, so X is 18 less. I hate that. The property tax of X, the property tax for X is 2% of the value. So the property tax for X is 38.24. So 38.24 is 2% of the value. So you're going to divide 38.24 by 2%. Again, I get a lot out of translation. So it's 191.2 is the price D. This is the oddest ball I've ever seen, but if you're thinking it's the midpoint of -6 and 2 and 3 and -7, you can actually use midpoint formula for that. We haven't been using midpoint terribly much lately on this test, and it used to be a staple, but enter -6.3 for the first number, and for the second number, what is that? 2 and -7. Huh? So the left-handed midpoint there, the answer is -2 minus 2 is H. Tricky one here. Everybody's going to hate me. X is 0, is this line straight down, and then this other one is -3 with a y-intercept and a slope of 3/5, and the other guy has a y-intercept of 2 and a slope of -2/5. And they want the area of the triangle, huh? Well, that's this triangular region right here. It has an altitude. I'm going to turn it sideways like they like to do. And I'm going to tell you that the altitude is 5. I don't want to make a mess, but that's this distance. And the base is also 5. So you can use your area of a triangle program and use 5 and 5 as the numbers. (25/2), which is 12.5. AC is the diagonal of a square. I'm sorry, AC is the side of the square. So these are all 75. So which of the following is not a rational number? It's going to be the diagonal, which is based on Pythagorean theorem, but it's also based on this being a 45, 45, 90, and it's a square root of 2. The volume is what it displaces, so we're going to do 2 volumes. Huh? A solid object is 35 by 30, and the water is to 13. So when we submerge it, the water is 15. So now you just do these two in box and subtract them. The larger box, 35, 30, (15), has a volume of what? 15,750. Remember that one, or write it down. So it's 15,750 minus the original 13,650. I hope that works. 2,100. It's the difference of the two volumes of the box. Circle. Key there is BOC is the 45-degree mark. So what is the x coordinate of B? Draw your triangle. Just did the 45, 45, 90. Hypotenuse is 4. So it's 4 divided by the square root of 2. The legs are both 4 over square root of 2. A third circle not shown. Center 0 and 2 is moved 8 units to the right. So it's got center 8 units to the right at 8,0. And a radius of 2. Is the resulting applying the first transfer smaller circle. So the smaller circle has a radius of 2. Oh, I see. So now the radius is 4. So when it stretches out, since the first circle had a radius of 2, and this one had a radius of 4, you double that. So it's going to reach all the way to here with its radius of 4 and touch the circle in one point. What is the area outside the smaller circle but inside the larger one? It's just the two circles area. So the larger circle is 16 pi. You could do area of circle. And the smaller circle is 4 pi. So the answer is 12 pi. It's what's the larger circle has a radius of 4, and they're looking for this area. It's pretty large because the donut hole does not have much. This circle has radius just 2. So you could do area of circle twice there. Which of the following is the equation of OB? This is a dirty one. It's the 45-degree line. So it's y equals x. Looking back, it has a y-intercept of 0, and it has a rise of 4, a rise and run that are the same. So the 45-degree gives that away. So the answer would be y equals x. They love this. This is called recursive sequence, and they define a recursive sequence as the first term being 4. So the second term, that's the next, is equal to twice the previous one minus 3. So the second term is 8, 5. Get it? Now the next one, the third one, is going to be twice 2 times 5 minus 3, that's 7. Then 2 times 7 minus 3, that's 11. And the fifth one is 2 times 11 minus 3 is 19. Recursive sequence, the next one is twice the previous one minus 3, and then you're off and running. This looks like an SAS, Law of Cosines. Gosh, they're making me do the whole thing. So we got to know the law of cosines. X squared is equal to the other two guys squared minus twice their product times the cosine of 127. That's the first time I've ever seen where it's not listed there. So I just do it straight out, 80 squared plus 120 squared minus 2 times 80 times 120 times the cosine. I have to make sure I'm in degree because I've been fooling around. I told you, always be in degree. Sorry. And we're looking for the cosine of 127 degrees. Now that's x squared. So you just take the square root of the answer to get it. 179. Adding fractions, I take the common denominator. So it would be x minus a times x plus a. And then killer cross. 1 times x plus a. And negative 1. So negative 1x plus a. The x's cancel, and I get 2a. And it looks like they distributed here x squared minus a squared. Got to find the center. The center is right there. It's 2 and negative 3. So what does that mean? It's x minus 2 squared and y minus 3 squared. Now for ellipses, you do the radiuses. The x radius is the x stretch is 3, which means this is a 9. The y radius is the y stretch, which is negative 3 to 2, 5, which makes this 25, and they're always equal to 1. Uh-oh. This answer was written in there somehow. So here we go. The x-intercepts are your zeros. So anybody knows that would know that minus 5 means x plus 5, and x minus 3/4. Now that's 3/4 is the 0, so kick the 4 over 4x minus 3 and FOIL these two. 4x squared plus 20 minus 3 plus 17x minus 15. Funny, funny, funny. This one is hilarious. Everybody cancels except for who? The 1 and the 301. Oh, this was a great one. I used equation solver for this. 2 to the x equals 7. So 2 caret x is 7. Now, one thing you might not know is when you alpha solve that, it stows that as your x. So now that's stowed as x, so I can then do 2 to the y is 14. And that's going to stow that as the y. Alpha solve. So look at what they wanted to know. They wanted to know what x minus y is. -1. It'd be a log way to do that. You could have done 2 to the x is 7. You could have logged both sides. X then comes down in front, and x equals log 7 over log 2. And then y would be the same thing. It'd be log 14 over log 2. So check that out. You could have done log 7 divided by log 2, whatever that is, minus log 14 y over log 2. Cool. This one was crazy. Is we want to select from all of these people 2 people who are the same grade in the same school. So there's 270 enrolled. What's the chance of me picking grade 10, the North? Well, for the first person, it would be 47 out of 270. Now, you know you're counting. Once I pick that one, the next one would be 46 out of 269, because there would be 1 fewer North students and 1 fewer grade 10. So that's the first one. What's the chance of being grade 10 South? 93 out of 270 times 92 out of 269, and so forth for all the lists. It's actually a kind of a simple answer, but it's not at all a simple concept. This one, I whipped out the old Venn diagram. You ever use it? 120 people are in my universe. 85 of them have what's called a business degree. "75 are CPAs, but that's not a separate group. That's an intertwined group, because together that makes more than the groups, huh? So there are 14 people who are not CPAs and don't have a business degree. So what does that mean? There are 14 of the 120 are neither nor. So that leaves 106 for these 2 groups. But it says of the 85, and 75 would be 160. So there must be in this group right here, how many? So we would go, let's see, of 75 are CPAs. How does this work? I got confused. 85 have a business degree. 75 are CPAs. 85 have a business degree. 75, this is business. This is CPA. What is the probability will be a CPA? I'm confused. So 14, 6, so 160 would be 54. 54. I'll have to check. So let's see if this is 54. That would mean this is 21, and this would be 31. Oh. So 75 is out of the business. I was counting it wrong. So the business is 85, and of those, 75 are here. So 75 are CPAs, and that would mean that of the only 10 are not, and that would leave 14 outside. So how many are over here would be 14 and 10, 24, plus 75 is 99. So that would leave 21 over here. So the chance that you would be a CPA is these two, 96. That's all, folks.